Hello, everyone. It's Mike from Downtown Comics, and I'm here as always with James Rossman. James, how are we doing today?
Good, Mike.
Good. We are almost at the 4th of July holiday.
Yeah, already. Yeah.
Yep. So we're going to talk about some comics that came out this Wednesday, July 2nd, 2025, and we're actually going to do 4 today because we have 2 crossover ones where we both read them, so it shouldn't, should be about the same time.
Yeah.
So, yeah. All right, so let's see. Like and subscribe. I did mention one of my other videos. I think we're at like 387 subscribers or something.
400,
so we want to get to 400. So if you're watching these videos and you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button. If not, try to share it with a few people so we can get to 400 because we both like even numbers. And, of course, downtowncomics.com is the place to go to check out all the new comics and covers that come out every week. All right, let's get going. Why don't you do one that I did not read?
Okay, yeah.
I did not read.
Yeah, so I can do Absolute Green Lantern number 4.
All right. Yeah. Yes, I haven't even... I'll be honest, I haven't even started this one. I need to start this one, but I haven't. So.
It's pretty good. I mean, it's definitely different than any. There's 2 other Green Lantern ones going on right now. Right?
Yeah, Green Lantern Corps and just Green Lantern.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So, in this issue, this is the 4th issue, by the way. In this, we see the Black Hand taking over Hal Jordan more and more. Okay. So it's really kind of more in a horrifying way. Some of the art that was in it kind of was a little scary. It seems like a little bit more mature. So, but we see Hal Jordan in a way that we have never really seen him before. Most of this issue is a little bit of a flashback from the time that Abin Sur came to the town that he's in right now, and leading up into what we saw in issue number 1. So Abin Sur really looks like, and I may have mentioned this before, but he really looks like Majin Buu from Dragon Ball Z. I don't know if you know that character. The pink guy.
No, I would recognize him. I don't know names, but I recognize the art because we carry the toys and stuff. So I'd be like, I know that guy, but no, I don't recognize names.
Yeah, okay.
Except for Goku.
Yeah, right, yeah. But Abin Sur has this like big like tail looking thing on the back of his head. It's kind of funny. He's got like 4 arms, I think, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
But no, so there was a lot of questions that this issue kind of wraps up a little bit, but also presents new questions. There in this though, there's some of the town people are kind of sitting around a table inside of a bar, and Joe, one of the main characters, that she's now like a Green Lantern because she tried to in this issue she basically like yells out to Abin Sur like, hey, why are you killing all these people? Like, because they thought all the townspeople were sheltering into place, and then one of them goes around like door to door like, hey, is anybody here? No one's there. So she basically goes out to the street and is like, hey, Abin Sur, like, why are you killing all these people? He's like, I've killed like 4 people. He's like, how did he put it? Like, something like the existence of others was not because of this Abin Sur, or non-existence of was not due to this Abin Sur, or whatever he said. But he spoke really, really strange.
Okay.
So, but in this, he tries to leave, and she like grabs basically inside like this force field, and basically like touches the inside of his body almost, essentially.
Okay. So,
which was kind of really neat to see. But he's doing this whole judgment thing, Abin Sur, where and Joe, like I mentioned earlier, goes on, and she like I said, kind of lays into him, but it kind of paints. Let me see, what did I put? I lost my spot. But no, some of this has a lot of nods to like familiar like Green Lantern things, names, places, locations, stuff like that, which was kind of cool.
Okay.
It was kind of the first time we've seen anything like that in the Absolute Green Lantern. But Abin Sur, the weird thing about this Abin Sur is he doesn't have a ring, but he still has these force fields, these constructs and stuff like that.
Okay.
So that was really, that's been really interesting about This Happens, Sir. So
Okay.
yeah, I've really been liking this issue or
Okay.
this series so far.
And just for me and maybe the audience, so
Mhm.
what would you think would be the number one difference between the absolute version of Green Lantern, either in the world building
Mhm.
or something about one of the main characters that we kind of all know if we're Green Lantern fans, between like the regular DC universe and the absolute verse? What would you say is like the number one thing that's like different in this one?
I would probably say so far, I think, because all 4 issues have really been dealing with like Abin Sur
Okay.
in some sort of capacity. So really, probably Abin Sur is probably he's really different from
Okay, and he's not dead. Well, I
No,
guess would be the big thing, which is usually he comes to the planet and he's dying. He doesn't live very long, so we don't get to know him at all. But you're saying he's more of a major character in this title. Okay.
Yeah,
right,
which
that's fair.
it's really good. So and I think 2 more issues and then the trade paperback will be out.
Okay.
So yeah,
awesome.
So yeah,
all right. I'll do one that I just read. It was X-Men 19, so the regular X-Men 19. This is a one-off. So if you just haven't read the X-Men and you just want a one-off story, this would be a one-off. It stars Doug Ramsey, who we used to know as Cypher. Remember from the New Mutants?
Yeah.
And Warlock, who was also on the New Mutants. They were best friends. Those are the 2 major characters. And then Dan Ramsey's wife, who I don't know her name, or I don't remember her name, but she was a mutant from that other island. So not Krakoa, but Arrakis, I guess was the name of it, that other island. So they're alone in a cabin in the wilderness or whatever, and they're basically in hiding because Doug Ramsey, and I'm pretty sure this happened in the Heir to the Apocalypse miniseries, because that sounds about right, but Doug Ramsey was reborn under the name Revelation now. He has officially been given the heir to the title of Apocalypse, basically. Okay, yeah. So he's the one that supposedly will be in charge of culling the weak of the mutants like Apocalypse was.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So he's gotten an upgrade in terms of like he used to kind of be this like mousy kid who could just, his big superpower was he could talk to things. So it was languages. Like he didn't have any. So he could talk to Krakoa, the island. He was the one that translated. He could talk computer language. So he could code and decode stuff. And so that was his power, which was kind of I guess in terms of being able to fight or whatever, pretty lame. So now he's been he's been pretty much buffed up, and now he kind of has the preacher superpower. He's got kind of the word of Apocalypse. He can basically tell people what to do. Like if he wants to throw his weight behind something, if he wants to say go jump in a lake, they'll go jump in a lake.
Wow. Okay.
So I guess he's definitely got a power upgrade. So this whole issue is just about him trying to come to grips with what his new status quo is, and of course talking to his wife and what they're going to do, because he knows he's got this kind of responsibility, but of course he doesn't want to just go around killing people. So he's trying to figure out how he can be what he's supposed to be, but not necessarily just go wiping out, and so a lot of dialogue. But then at the end, of course, there are many people that would want him dead, and of course the cabin gets attacked. There's a big fight, yada yada kind of on the thing. So it's a one-shot story. It's basically setting up his new status quo. I don't know where we're going to meet him later, because it's probably going to go back in the next issue to what they were doing in the regular X-Men with Cyclops. But he does say at the end that they're going to head towards Alaska. So at some point, Doug Ramsey, Revelation is his new code name, is going to hook up with the core team of this book. So so you don't really have to know anything, or because like I said, I think I read there. I don't know, but there's enough there that you could follow the story, and like I said, it's a one-off. So good issue. Kind of like I said, sets up stuff for the future. So
speaking of the Krakoa, did you read a lot of the Krakoa era of?
Yeah, but basically the core titles. Like I didn't really go off very much on Marauders or. I wish I would have read more of the Sinister stuff.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I really like his character, but I just kind of avoided like the Marauders, and there was another book he was part of. So so not enough to get the whole story, but enough to get the main story.
Gotcha.
So yeah.
Sweet.
Yep.
All right. Well,
all right.
I think you ready for the big one?
Let's do the big one.
All right.
Yeah, I was super excited about this one.
Yeah, Captain America #1.
All right.
Written by the good old Chip Zdarsky.
Chip Zdarsky, yes. So yeah, I had big expectations of this, and were you surprised? So I'll go my biggest surprise, because I didn't read the solicitations. I just knew that there was a new Captain America.
Oh, okay.
So were you surprised at where it's set, or when it's set, I should say?
I kind of was, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, with the whole, like, was it a couple weeks?
Yeah,
So
if you don't know out there, this book is actually set in the formation of the Avengers. It's literally seems like weeks or months after Avengers #4 from 1963. So Cap has just been thawed out of the ice, and he's getting used to the world. And I didn't even cue. I don't know how long it took you to cue in on it. It took me, I think, when he asked where the United Nations building was, because he's, they're like, hey, he went towards the United Nations, this bad guy or whatever, in like page 3 or whatever. He's like, oh, where's that? I'm like, why wouldn't he know where the United Nations is? Because the news broadcast that he was listening to, I think, something about Stark Tech just released a phone.
Yeah,
so
right.
Even though that's in the past, they've now moved the timeline up, obviously.
Yeah, I think it's kind of like, this is kind of the not so distant past, I think is how...
it'll be interesting to see how... Yeah, exactly. So it's that sliding scale of, when the Fantastic Four first came out, they talked about Ben Grimm being in World War II.
Yeah.
But then by the time the 80s and 90s rolled around, they talked about Ben Grimm being in the Vietnam War. And then I think even later he was in the Iraq War. So they just kept, moving up his backstory. So it's always, like, Marvel's always like 10 years is how long the Marvel Universe has always been around.
Right.
So.
Yeah. I will say, though, at the top of this, it does say Our Secret Wars. But don't get confused by that, because, I think I've seen online some people are like, is this part of the Secret Wars, like... Well, like, no, this is its own thing.
No, not at all, not at all.
Yeah, but it was kind of neat. Obviously, Cap's not part of the Avengers yet, and he does get asked. He's like, hey, you want to join? And he's like, no. It was kind of, it was really interesting because obviously he went back to the military, and he was like,
because that's where he felt comfortable.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess. Yeah. So and there was a side story at the same time that's going to play out. So we have a new character getting introduced.
David Colton. Yeah.
Which, oh man, the name rings familiar. So there was a Captain America in the 50s. I'd have to look it up. My Marvel history is failing me now, so I don't know what his name was. But that Colton name sounds familiar.
Really?
Yeah, someone has used that name in Marvel history. So either it's the same person and we're seeing his origin, or this person is related to that other person. So yes, that name is something. I'll have to look deeper into it, and I'm sure we'll find out.
Yeah, right.
But it's not random. That's not a random name.
It's not. Yeah.
So, but yeah, I guess we see a little parallel. We see a parallel origin for this character that's very similar to Captain America's. Yeah.
Which I think it's the last page where you really see it. You're like, oh wow, that's gonna be really cool. I'm super excited for the second issue. But in this, we get to see Captain America kind of go on some missions. It's kind of cool. There's not like a whole lot of action in this. I think there was like one big action sequence. I mean, it was still a pretty good one. But that's where there's a veteran like going to the UN to basically destroy it, and Captain America having to go do. But also we get should we mention who else is mentioned in this issue? Maybe we'll leave that.
We'll leave that
big spoiler a little bit.
Kind of.
But there is a big character name dropped, and Steve Rogers basically has to kind of go and deal with that as well. But yeah, no, I really enjoyed this issue without saying too much about it, because being the first issue.
I did, and
Yeah.
like I think it's a good first issue for anyone looking to get into Captain America. And again, I think the setting, um, the issue with Captain America sometimes is how do you put Steve Rogers in in kind of our real world or whatever. So I mean, we'll see what the plan is. I don't know that they mean to keep it in this back timeline. I mean, I'm fine with it.
I don't have any issues.
So it'll be good to see Cap doing some stuff. But yeah, no, I thoroughly enjoyed it. Art was good. Good writing.
I even made a note here just to kind of mention. I was like, even though there's not a lot of action in this, the way that Chip Zdarsky writes this is kind of like you're kind of going on a journey with Steve Rogers, like learning different new things because obviously it's been a long time since he's been in the ice, and so you're kind of learning as with him. So I thought that was pretty cool, and I don't know if you thought about this, but as I was reading this issue, I was like, Captain America is really kind of like Marvel's Superman in a way, because he's like the way he approaches a situation from a place of kindness, and it's not like, oh well, let me just beat whoever into submission.
Yeah, I mean, I think from an attitude perspective, yes, I think Captain America is someone who he wants to see the good in everyone.
Yeah.
So, and I think Superman's the same way. Batman's the one that distrusts everyone. And maybe it's Iron Man that fits that bill more often than not. Because
I can see that.
because he's got his own problems, and so he assumes that everyone else does too. So but yeah, no, I agree. No, he's probably as close to a Superman that we really have in the Marvel universe.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Okay.
Sweet.
All right. Am I doing another one?
Yeah.
Do you want me to do the second one that we both read?
That's fine. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to go with the last one shot of Godzilla Versus. So we've had Spider-Man, Hulk, Fantastic Four, X-Men, and Avengers. And the last one is Godzilla versus Thor. And I just realized, I was trying to figure out, do these things fit together? No, they do not. But they have gone in a linear time fashion.
Yeah,
the first two, FF and Hulk, were set in about the 70s. The Spider-Man was set in the 80s because he had the black costume. The X-Men were set in the 90s because Cyclops was wearing his 90s X-Men outfit. The Avengers were set in the early 2000s because it was the new Avengers lineup. And Thor is literally set in the now. Why? Because I don't know how this guy came. I don't know. I don't remember who. Do you have written down who wrote it?
I don't actually. Yeah.
I don't know where this.
No, it was Jason Aaron.
Oh, was it
Jason
Aaron?
Yeah,
all right. So, and he's written Thor forever. But the dude, did he write the Punisher storyline?
I don't remember.
Maybe he did, and that's how he came up with it. But brainstorming this, if you'd have asked me, well, why is Godzilla fighting Thor? The answer I would not given is because the Hand has recruited Godzilla to be their king of king of the beasts or whatever unholy god they serve.
And so they basically praise him. Yeah.
So they clearly reference the Punisher arc where they tried to get Punisher to become that thing, and that happened 2 years ago.
I think so.
So it's the most recent Punisher storyline. So they reference that. The head of the Hand makes a cameo. You get to see some hand ninjas for a second. So, but yeah, basically they brainwash or somehow co-opt Godzilla into being just an evil engine of destruction. So this is the first one where Godzilla seems to be working on autopilot. Like he's not himself.
Exactly.
And he's been turned. And
with that sliver of what was it? Oh, dang it! What the heck was? Or am I thinking of the Justice League one? No, I think it was this one. Wasn't it where he was turned on? There was like a sliver.
A sliver of
What the heck was it?
Yeah. There was something left over that they were able to find, and that's what they used to do it. But yes, so basically Godzilla's a murdering machine. So he's just going around just destroying everything. So Thor pops in to save the day, and the issue is just one huge fight scene.
It is. It's really cool.
Yeah,
it's
it
really
is.
neat.
It is one huge fight scene. Yeah, if they were to ever animate that or put it in a movie, that would be pretty colossal. So yeah, you just get 22 pages of them going at it, and I don't know. There's an ending, I guess, for lack of a better word.
Yeah. Yeah, it's an interesting ending, I feel like. Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know.
I feel like that's pretty much the whole issue, really.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much nuance to it. Honestly, my like I said, my big shock was the storyline they came up with, and I'm like, okay, well, that seems fine, whatever.
Yeah, the hand was so annoying to me, or the main lady there.
Right? Oh yeah, she always is.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, she always is.
Yeah.
So, but it was fun. I liked it, and it was a good story. Interesting to see how they're going to do Godzilla versus the Marvel Universe.
I was just thinking, because that comes out next week.
I think it's coming out in a couple weeks. It's starting up. So whether does it tie into this at all, or is it just so? Yeah, not sure, but
there's so much Godzilla
he's all over the
out.
place.
Yeah, really,
he's all over the place, and they're starting a new Godzilla franchise through IDW.
That's right.
So that whole line is starting up where it's a Godzilla verse.
Yeah, which will be cool. I like reading Godzilla. It's kind of a step away from anything serious or.
I mean, as long as the other characters in the book are worthy of, just like Transformers, right? It's like, I know I shouldn't say that because Transformers in the comics is all about the Transformers.
Oh yeah, just not the movies.
In the movies, the stuff like the Transformers and Godzilla. It's only as good as the other characters around them because you can't have Godzilla on screen every it costs too much. Same thing with Transformers. So you've got to make the other human characters compelling. So, but good book. Read it. It's like I said, it's just a nice.
They'll probably come out with a whole thing of them. Probably,
I assume.
Right? Yeah, that's what I figured.
I assume.
Okay,
so.
Sweet.
All right, what you got?
Well, actually, another one for me is another Godzilla one. It's Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong 2, number 2. So
now in the first one. If I remember correctly, the Legion of Doom built a portal to the world that Godzilla lives on, which is the legendary movie Godzilla verse, right? In order to use them to conquer,
essentially.
Right? Okay, so the sequel is basically what? Like, what's the storyline, the main storyline of the second one? Do they go back or?
Well, so they actually they go back and they try to, because King Kong doesn't remember the Justice League essentially. So Supergirl's really in the past series. I think there was Kong and Supergirl had kind of a, I don't know, like a hearing out or something where they trusted each other.
Okay,
but it's been so long that. Now, they're trying to regain Kong's trust, and it's not working very well. So Kong kind of goes, on the defense because they're on his territory. So there's a little bit of fighting there, a little bit. King Kong kind of smacks Supergirl away, and so there's but I think it was Superman that said, he's like, you know what? He's like, we're on his territory. He doesn't remember us. There's a bigger issue at hand where Lex Luthor's on the island, and basically Lex Luthor heightens his heart rate, or the sound of his heartbeat, and so that way Superman, he's like, can find him, and so they come face to face, and Lex Luthor goes to this portal to I think it's to head to Hollow Earth. So Superman chases after him. But on the other end, they both are, so there's no sun there, right? So Superman's losing his powers pretty quickly, and they come face to face with a bigger issue than what they were dealing with prior, and so basically they're gonna have to probably team up together to beat whatever to whatever bigger threat's going on.
Okay.
There is a little bit of monster on monster fighting in this. There's a little bit of Killer Croc which was kind of interesting.
Okay.
Seeing him in kaiju form.
Okay.
So it doesn't last very long, but it was still kind of cool.
All right.
But that's pretty much the whole issue, really. Yeah, they're trying to get, like I said, trust Kong's trust again, and then Superman Lex Luthor going off and into Hollow Earth, and that's kind of where really it ends.
So who's the major antagonist on this? Is it the Legion of Doom again?
Yeah.
Okay.
Legion of Doom,
okay.
Yeah.
Right.
And then so there's also the Suicide Squad is there in this issue as well.
Oh.
So
okay.
Yeah, and actually Lex Luthor is with the Suicide Squad when they show up for first time in this issue.
Gotcha.
So,
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So yeah, I mean, I feel like there wasn't like a whole lot that was really accomplished in this issue, but it was still pretty cool seeing Godzilla and big kaiju Killer Croc. So yeah.
Okay. All right.
So yeah.
Okay. I will do my last one, and that was Star Wars Jedi Knights #5. So I know I've talked about this book at least once before. All of these stories are, again, one-shot. So they just take a bunch of the Jedi and have one-shot stories. So you don't necessarily even have to read them in order because there's no through line. They're all set usually in the Clone Wars era so far. So this one stars Yaddle, who is the other Yoda, female Yoda alien creature, and then Count Dooku. And the cool thing about it is the beginning of the story references the fact that Dooku is the one that kills Yaddle, which really? Happened in the cartoons.
Yeah, yeah.
But this is set pre that. Okay, so it's basically also, I want to say it's her first meeting with Count Dooku when he's they just reference him as a fallen Jedi Knight. So this is some really interesting backstory to pre-Episode 1 stuff.
Okay.
Because the Trade Federation, who knew that the Trade Federation would still be a thing, right? But the Trade Federation is in this, and they are in dispute with another group of, people that transport goods around the galaxy. I don't know, whatever. Distributors, I guess. There's a dispute there, so Yaddle and another Jedi go to monitor the dispute, or to mediate it, and come to find out that the one faction has stolen one of the Trade Federation's ship and is keeping it. Or no, the Trade Federation stole one of the other people's ships and is keeping it as collateral because this other place owes them money, right? So there's and neither one wants to give it up. Like the one says, well, give us our ship back, we'll pay the money. And they're like, no, you owe us the money. You give us the money, we'll give you back the ship. And so they're trying to figure out, well, Yaddle thinks that there's something about this ship that no one's talking about. That she senses that. So they go and investigate the ship. They come across Count Dooku. There's a fight because there's some third party involved, shenanigans, stuff is happening, intrigue. I won't say what it is. You have to read it, but basically it by the end of it, it is setting up where Count Dooku is, and it is foreshadowing. It is foreshadowing the start of Episode 1.
Okay.
And that he was behind the scenes on a lot of the stuff that was going on in Episode 1 even. So he didn't just come out of nowhere in Episode 2, I guess. He was still part of the overall plan at the beginning. So I don't know how that jives with, Darth Maul being the apprentice, but it seems like Count Dooku wasn't an apprentice. He was just a fallen Jedi that wanted to help out. So
gotcha.
Yeah, and then you get, basically Yaddle has to make a decision that will end up costing her life. So, yeah. Right. A good issue. Sweet. Yeah, really good issue. So if you're fans of this stuff, thumbs up. So
nice.
There you go.
All right.
I think that's it.
Wraps it up for this week. Yeah.
Well, yeah, some good stuff. And we both loved Captain America. It was really good. So I'm excited.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So thanks for watching, everyone. We'll see you later. And have a good 4th of July.
Bye.